Now in this module I'm going to discuss how to remove a roof from a car. This will allow you to achieve greater patient access and extrication from the vehicle when it's appropriate. Now the technique you will use will depend on the amount and type of structural damage to the vehicle. Now depending on the nature of the impact and the environment of the accident, it is not always necessary to remove the roof completely. You don't always have to take the roof off. Now other ways of dealing with the roof are, you can use a forward roof flap as you can see here. You've got a backward roof flap as you can see here. You've got a partial roof flap as you can see here. And here is an example of a side roof flap. Now if the vehicle has landed on its roof, you may have an inverted roof flap. So there's different ways, you don't always have to take the roof off. All of those methods may have their own advantages and disadvantages. Now I want to discuss how to carry out a full roof removal. Now let's go through this again. Firstly, you need to remove all glass from the vehicle as safely as possible as you can see here. Then you remove both the A-posts. Then you should cut the windscreen from one side to the other, providing protection for both the patient and the rescuer from glass fragments and glass dust. Next, you cut both the B pillars, as you can see there. And finally, you cut the C pillars. With the roof supported, you should make the final cut, ensuring that there are no other points of attachment such as seat belts or plastic trim. The rescuers can then lift the roof and carry it to the designated parts dump. The final step is to ensure that all sharp edges are covered, as you can see here. Cover them over with something like that. Now that covers the total roof removal method. Now I'm going to focus on techniques for partial roof removal. The first one is the forward roof flap. This is where you want to pull the roof forward to gain entry to the passengers, as you can see here. The first thing you do is cut the B and the C pillars. Ensure this is done whilst others are supporting the roof. After ensuring that adequate glass protection is in place, make your relief cuts on both sides of the roof just behind the windscreen. Then rescuers may fold the roof forward and it may be necessary to use a bar to assist the folding. Don't forget, a strap must be used to hold it back in place, so make sure you strap it as you can see here. And finally, you should cover all sharp edges with the appropriate material. What about a side roof flap? How do you carry out this procedure? Let's have a look. Firstly, you need to carry out a cut an opening in the A pillar, as you can see there, an A pillar. Then you cut the windscreen at an angle as shown here, and remember to protect both rescuers and patients from any glass fragments and glass dust. Next, you cut the B pillar close to the roof. Then you move on to the C post and cut this close to the roof. Then you make a relief cut in the roof just above the C pillar. Now, in some vehicles, the construction is such that it will require a relief cut above the A pillar as well. So you do need to check. Now, to create a horizontal working platform place where the roof will lie, you can fold the roof downward as smoothly as possible to avoid destabilising the car. And the final step is to make sure all sharp edges are covered to protect all those involved. Don't forget to cover them. What about an inverted roof flap? Now, to carry out an inverted roof flap, you firstly stabilise the vehicle using chocks. After stabilising the vehicle, you use your standard glass management. This should be performed to remove the hazard. If you have a protective airbag cover, install it now. Then you open the rear of the vehicle by removing a hatch door if possible. The next step is you use the various rams to shore the back of the vehicle and put the struts under tension. Then you remove the back seats of the car in the case of frontal occupant entrapment, and this will allow better patient access. Now, in some situations, this may not be possible without first creating more working space. Now, if you intend to flap the roof down, remove the chocks from under the roof. If not, continue the procedure with them in place to prevent the roof moving downward. Next, you should position a ram on a stable, make sure it's stable, support point on the roof and put it under pressure between the roof and the vehicle floor. Then you cut the B and the C pillars on both sides, taking the standard precautions. Now, throughout the process of cutting, lifting and stabilising, a coordinating approach must be used, so make sure it's all coordinated. You've got someone coordinating all this. Now, depending on the chosen approach at this time, you will either lift the vehicle or push the roof down using the ram. Now, as space is created using the ram, the shores should be continually adjusted to ensure they provide stabilisation. When the procedure is completed, there is ample room for allowing a controlled release of the patients. Now, space creating techniques can be used in various ways to create a clear working area or allow extrication of entrapped patients.